Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The recitation is Manj Mahalla Panjwa. Prabh Kirpa te har har tyavo, Prabhu daya te mangal gavo. Uthat baitat sovat jagat, har tyaiye sagal a-sabad-a-day jiyo. नाम अवखद मोको साधु दिया, किल बिख काटे निर्मल थिया. अनद भया निकसी सब पीरा, सगल बिना से दरदा जियो. जिसका अंग करे मेरा प्यारा, सो मुक्ता सागर संसारा. सत करे जिन गुरु पछाता, सो काहे को डरदा जियो. जब ते साधु संगत पाए, गुर भेट तिहां गई बलाए. सास सास हर गावे नानक, सतगुरु ढाक लिया मेरा पड़दा जियो. O dear ones, says Guru Arjan, in life, remain always aware of the presence of the self. Har tyavo. Whether walking or sitting, sleeping or awake. Uthat, baitat, sovat, jagat, har tyaiya. Sagal avarda jiyo, throughout your life. A life of self-awareness and self-knowledge. And then he goes on to add, by the benevolence of the enlightening wisdom, I've become aware of the rejuvenating herself. Prabh Kirpa te har har tyavo. Prabh, divine wisdom, the eternal wisdom that is innate in us. So that benevolent wisdom has given him awareness of the self within. And he calls it the compassionate wisdom has given me bliss. Prabh dayate mangala gavo. So then there is here a recognition of how to live, which is with self-awareness, not self-consciousness, but self-awareness, and with knowledge of the self. And how does that come about? He has pointed to the eternal wisdom. But how does one access that? In the second section, he suggests how that happens. Naam aukhad moko sadhu diya. The word sadhu here implies the guru, the teacher, the enlightener. So the enlightener has given me the medicine of self-knowledge. It's referred to as a medicine. And what does that medicine do? Kilbikha kate nirmal thiya. The impurities of a mind were filtered. Kilbik refers to the perversions and the prevarications of the mind that cause sorrow. It is stuff that really blinds us, clouds us, and hence the idea of nirmal thiya. Nirmal, purity. That is to say, you remove the clouds of doubt, you remove the clouds of the impurities of your own thought, and begin to see the world differently. And the experience of bliss that comes about as a result displaces all pain and destroys all suffering. Anad bhaya niksi sab pida, pain, sagal bina se darda jiyo. So the idea in Gurmat is that all of suffering and all of pain is rooted in a misapprehension, in a misdirection of the elements of our nature. We are making wrong decisions based on a misapplication of who we really are. And that's what is causing the rest of our troubles. And then, of course, there is the illusion to being free of that bondage of the mind. So mukta sagar sansara jiska ang kare mera pyara. Those who have the beloved by their side are liberated from the bondage of world ocean. Again, we know that the world has been likened to an ocean of fear, no less. And it is across this ocean that we have to swim. The fear is really nothing more than existential fear, because the ego has caused that to happen. And so the one who recognizes the creative enlightener as all-pervading, the Guru says, what fear can such a mind really have? Sat kare jin Guru pachata, recognizing. So kahe ko darda jiyo? What fear can such a mind have? Jab te sadhu sangat paye, since I have found the enlightener's presence, Gur petat how gai balai. My demonic ego, balai, has left me since I found the presence. And so the advice to us, my dear ones, the enlightener has shielded my privacy or my honor. Sadguru taak liya mera parda. And Nanak says, with every breath I glorify the Har Self. It's another way of saying, glorification of the Har Self is another way of saying living creatively at every moment with this newfound vision, with this newfound direction, newfound clarity. So the message we can take away from this is live a life of self-awareness guided by this wisdom. And self-awareness implies at one level knowing one's true identity as the Har Self, the essence within. And this acknowledgement is the first step to self-knowledge. Self-awareness, self-knowledge has to become the new normal. It's the goal to be reached. So at its simplest, self-knowledge begins with awareness of your own inner states. And no one else but you can best know your own inner mind. And yet, the mind does not really know itself because it suffers from this chronic condition, this bala, this demonic ego, haume, which causes it to hallucinate and which causes it to believe that it is the ego with a distinct physical boundary called the body. The mind becomes caught in a ceaseless internal chatter. It becomes full of fear, which is existential in nature, and becomes judgmental. It is stifled. So Gurbani, the medicine, the speech of Gur wisdom, provides and teaches a non-judgmental acceptance of things, including accepting yourself as things are, santokh. This is the critical first step that enables the mind to begin to see things anew, because it slows the velocity of your inner chatter and gradually quietens the mind. Only santokh, acceptance, can do that. And once that happens, only then can you begin to even see and understand your own established ways of thinking. And once you can see those, seeing your own seeing, it is only then that you can begin to dismantle that framework and begin to establish the framework of Gurmat as your frame of thinking. And that frame is a non-dualistic way of seeing things, a non-judgmental way of seeing things holistically, and of seeing things from the perspective of the whole, which is the self from within, inside out rather than outside in. Because what happens normally is that we are trying to understand the whole by just looking at the parts. And it becomes a virtually impossible exercise. This teaches you to flip the fulcrum from which you are thinking and perceiving the world. So not from the outside, but you're looking at the world from the inside. And that is the window to this creativity that the Guru is talking about. Sa sahar gave Nanak. Until the next time with those thoughts, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.